Notre Dame fans, the pivotal matchup against Texas A&M is right around the corner. And to preview the matchup, we have Blue and Gold beat writer Tyler James with his 3 keys and a prediction. Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel for more content. And of course, go to blueandgold.com for so much more preview information and recruiting intel ahead of a massive recruiting weekend for the Fighting Irish. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. The game can, of course, be seen on NBC. Key number 1 for you, Tyler: prevent explosive passes from Marcel Reed, especially like if the play breaks down, he gets outside the pocket, if he keeps his eyes downfield. So tell us about your first key here.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M's passing game has been pretty impressive through the first 2 games. Now, obviously, those are different defenses than what A&M will be going up against with Notre Dame. But wide receivers Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver, a couple of transfers that A&M brought in, are capable of big plays due to their speed. And we saw against Miami that Notre Dame had some issues with the speed and shiftiness of Malachi Toney. I think Marcel Reed has improved as a passer. He's tied for 15th in the country with 9 passing plays of at least 20 yards through his first 2 games. And both of the touchdown passes that Notre Dame allowed to Carson Beck were at least 20 yards. So I think Notre Dame's defensive backs need to do a better job in coverage. I know it's could be difficult because Marcel Reed can extend those plays, and it's going to make it imperative for the front 7 to be able to pressure Reed at times. But I think explosive passing plays could be a way that A&M could keep itself in this game.
Key number 2 for you, Tyler, is winning on third down.
Yeah, for all the offensive success that Texas A&M has had in its first 2 games, it's only converted 33% of its third down attempts on offense. The Irish, I think, need to keep that number low after allowing Miami to convert just 4 third downs in the opener. It might not have felt like that watching the game, but Miami didn't actually convert as many third downs as you would have thought. A&M's defense has been good on third downs. I think they're allowing just a 24.1 conversion rate. Notre Dame wasn't bad against Miami, 4 of 9 on third downs. Pretty good for CJ Carr's first start. So I think there will be a lot of opportunities for Notre Dame to sort of assert itself physically on third down, both on offense and defense. And I think Notre Dame really needs to take advantage of that, get off the field when it's on defense, and keep drives alive to really put the pressure on this Texas A&M team.
Yeah, your key number 2 here is very fundamentally sound football, win on third down. Key number 3 is more of just like the Notre Dame community speaking here. Get Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price the freaking football here. Even if Price fumbles, it's okay. We still love him. Get him the football. Because he was hot before he fumbled, and we assume it just pretty much got pulled. And then maybe take away the R in the RPO at times. Just excuse me, the P in the RPO.
Yeah, how dare you?
How about just an R? Just run. Excuse me. Yeah, just run Jeremiah Love, Tyler.
Yeah, I think they got to ditch the screen game and give the ball to your stud running backs. I mean, you can sprinkle some screens in here or there. That drove me crazy watching the game. I know I'm not alone in that department. I think some people differ on whether or not that was needed. Some people believe that Notre Dame needed to do that because its offensive line couldn't block. I'm not necessarily in that camp. I think certainly Notre Dame's offensive line struggled at Miami, but I don't think that game plan did the unit any favors. I think you got to give the offensive line a chance to push around Texas A&M's front and create some lanes for Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. Both were critical in Notre Dame's victory at Texas A&M last year. I think they'll both play big roles in this contest on Saturday. UTSA rushed for 203 yards against A&M, so Texas A&M's run defense has not been very stout so far. I think there's no reason Notre Dame should be afraid to sort of establish the run against the Aggies. I know sometimes you fear, like, does that mean they're going to start loading the box? But then I think with what we saw from CJ Carr in the first game of the season, that you should be able to trust him. If it does become that way and you're having trouble running the ball, let him test the defense then. So I think if you have success running the ball, that makes life easier on Carr, opens up some opportunities in the passing game, and I think will make Notre Dame's offense look a lot better than it did for the entirety of the game against Miami.
And that's something that Freeman talked about in his press conference on Monday, if I recall correctly, right? Like maybe take the training wheels off Carr a little bit. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, I think he admitted that, you know what, we did go into the first game a little worried. Like, hey, this is a first-time starter. This is a intense environment. He's just got done with a long quarterback battle. Maybe we don't put the game on CJ Carr's shoulders, I don't think they wanted to. I think it's at certain points he put it on his own shoulders and said, "Hey, we're not getting it done. I'm going to make something happen here." And I think that the confidence in him has grown. Seeing what he's able to do against a very tough Miami defense was impressive. I think certainly he had mistakes, and he'll have to avoid mistakes against Texas A&M, but a little bit more of a favorable environment in Notre Dame Stadium versus Hard Rock Stadium. And CJ Carr, I think, gave the coaching staff and fans a lot of confidence in what he can do with that performance. But that doesn't mean that you got to get away from what I think can be the strength of Notre Dame's offense, and that's running the ball with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up at the end because I've joked about that. It's like we want Carr to throw the ball like 30, 40 times, just really let loose. But also we want Jay Love and Price to get a combined 40 carries. It's like, yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to do all of that. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't matter, and that Notre Dame is just able to get the offense rolling. BetMGM is a partner at On3. We're going to be using their lines and talking about Notre Dame's matchup. So right now, Notre Dame, a 6.5-point favorite. That over-under right now, Tyler, at 49.5, which is really identical, I want to say, to what the Notre Dame Miami line was. It depended on when you bet it. If you did, it really floated between like 49 and 52. And then, the total ended up being 51, of course, with a 27-24 score. So if you look on kind of like the bottom left side of the graphic up on the screen, 55% of the bets are on Notre Dame. People leaning the under. And then the anytime touchdown, Jeremiah Love, -200. So Love is favored heavily to get into the end zone, something that he did a lot last season. Odds makers think that he will on Saturday night. So that's what the books say. Tyler, what's your score prediction? What do you got, this result coming out to?
Yeah, my score prediction is Notre Dame 27, Texas A&M 17. So that would mean Notre Dame would cover, and we'd hit the under there. I feel like these defenses are good enough to keep the other team in check, but I think Notre Dame is going to have a lot of motivation to sort of come out firing and with a fast start.
Yep.
And I think that will play in Notre Dame's favor. Can play with the lead a little bit, lean on those running backs, like I mentioned. And I think Notre Dame's defense will also step up, improve its missed tackles, maybe force a turnover like it didn't do against Miami. So I think there's a lot. I know there's a lot of hesitation from some Notre Dame fans coming out of the Miami game, but I think this is definitely a winnable game. It feels like a must-win game in some ways for Notre Dame to stay in the playoff hunt. But I think I like Notre Dame going into this game, and I think the Irish can even cover.
Yeah, I've got Notre Dame 31-17, close to your score. I was even tempted even bigger, like 31-14. But yeah, I just think that there's something to how fired up they're going to be. Marcus Freeman being unbeaten after bye weeks. I think A&M didn't look great against their first two opponents, and group of 5 programs. So I think that Notre Dame is going to come out rolling. I think that atmosphere inside Notre Dame Stadium is going to be absolutely electric. But it's wild because usually like this like make or break thing is well, I guess not. Last year was also the case where you can't lose again, right? Notre Dame had a playoff game every single week after NIU. Yeah, it's like wild to think like this is game number 2, and if you lose this one, you're very unlikely. Maybe not very unlikely. It's college football. Who knows? But you're unlikely to make the big dance, if I can call it that. But if you win it, it's like, man, foot to the pedal, and everything is still ahead of the Fighting Irish. So that is going to do it for this video, folks. Please hit the thumbs up on it. Subscribe to the channel for more content, and as always, we will catch you guys next time.